What is going on, boxing fans, MMA fans, and gamers? It's your boy Fight Night's Finest, the Sofa Commentator, coming back at you with another UFC online match between Frankie Edgar and Jose Aldo, however you like to say it. This is a live commentary, and it's been a little bit of a minute, so it's like, why not get some consistency going and pump out another video? I've been noticing that's been like a theme lately with like some of my homies that do YouTube and whatnot, is that everybody's trying to build their catalog up by putting out some more videos. And I remember back in the day when I did like a tips video with Dave the Rip one. I don't remember if it was on my channel or his channel, but one of the main things we was talking about is like consistency, just like posting on a regular basis. And just, you know, I was just moved to kind of like talk about building. This used to be something I used to do on my channel a long time ago. On Wednesdays I'll have like topical commentaries, or topical Wednesday, remember I used to call it. And I thought, why not like revive that for a little bit, you know, just talk about stuff. It's one of the things that I definitely do enjoy, like doing more than anything else is just talking about things, like just having like profound conversation if possible. So we get hit in the clinch here, just, you know, talking about different things, and the building would be a really good topic to go on. So it's like when you look at the people like entrepreneurs, like I know there's this guy out there named Gary Vee. I'm not sure how many of you guys know about it, but he always talks about down on the show, like for content creators, for entrepreneurs, for people in general, like, you know, just talking about, and not just talking about, but doing in general, like how important it is to constantly make sure that you're doing whatever it is that you're trying to build towards. And I think that's one of the things like people tend to get stuck on a lot, is when you're attempting to do something, the first thing you always want to do is like have a plan, because that's generally like how we're all taught, you know, that we need to have all the tools, we need to have like a clear-cut goal about how we're going to go about doing things. And one of the things I've definitely learned as I've been getting older, because when I first started this channel I was like 16. There's so many things that I didn't know about, like just the world in general, or just certain struggles or things that I have not yet been through. And I could say, like, especially recently, how important it is to just not only do, but learning that you don't have to have a clear-cut way about going about things. Like, you don't need to have like some specific plan, and everything doesn't need to be lined out, like, because a lot of times everybody's just winging it. And I think that's one of the things we typically tend to forget, so that nobody has like a certain way, unless if you have like a mentor or something. And even then, just because it worked for them or they have a general guideline of how they did things, that doesn't mean that it's always going to just work for you. And as a person who likes to, you know, teach things whenever I can, like I was just playing with my homie the other day, and I was teaching him how to play League. I remember when I was thinking about it like a while back, of just how to teach people things, and this goes in the category of building too. This is kind of what I meant by building. It's just like teaching, or like just making something happen and making a body of work. I always used to think like I want to teach people how to like farm first, and then how to get comfortable with the controls, all these different things, especially for a player who doesn't really play the game. And it's the same thing. I guess it would be more personal if I used an example with this game, right? The thing I always talk about most is you know, space and time and distance, like watching, observing, right? I never come into a fight like, or like come into a fight or go into a game knowing exactly what it is that I'm gonna do, right? But I sit back and I learn by just waiting for my opponent to show me what it is that they're going to do. People will show you. That's another thing. Like, people will show you what it is that they're going to do. So you don't have to do anything but just, you know, let time show you. Like, now he's starting to use leg kicks a lot more. So I know that's like his big thing. If I pressure him a little bit, I was about to say, I could probably like knock him down. And that's just from, you know, observing him and knowing that if he has like a leg kick focused strategy, I can probably cause some trouble or stir up some problems for him by just being close to him. Because now I'm not giving him the distance to work. And look, we already got like another knockdown. And that's just based off of observing. Like, I always talk about using the jab or like setting things up. Like, that is so important. That's always been very important to me, and that's how I've gone about building my plans. But at the same time, I'm always winging it. Like, I don't know what's gonna work for certain, but I do know that if I stay consistent with something and I let like my my opponent show me the way, eventually I'll be able to hopefully get this knockout, or I'll be able to do something. I'm just gonna like, I want this fight to go on a little bit longer. I think I am capable of getting the finisher just due to his stamina and the fact that he's like just panicking now instead of letting his bar come up. But yeah, back to what I was saying about building stuff, especially on this game. You just really don't know how it's gonna go about. Like, another thing I've been doing a lot lately is I've been playing a lot of chess, right? And chess, because I used to play when I was like in 3rd grade. No, 2nd grade, I got introduced to chess by my father. And I will play with him. I have 4 brothers, but I'll play with my pops or my 2nd oldest brother or my youngest brother, but mainly my pops and my 2nd oldest brother. And even like, they have these things called openings in chess. Like, there's 3 phases in that. And same thing like in a fight. You got your opening, the middle game, and then the end game. There's specific ways to set up your pieces or go about setting up your pieces with openings, right? You have like different defenses. You may have like the Sicilian defense or the London opening. Like, you have different setups that you can do for your pieces. But one of the videos I was watching talking about just how to go about knowing where to put your pieces. It doesn't give you a specific guide, and that's one of the things I like about the chess channel that I was watching. If you follow me on Twitter, you know that sometimes I post videos from them. But in the tutorial, right, you're just saying you just need to get your pieces out, but get them out to good squares. You don't need to have like a specific setup. You just need to know how you want to go about putting your pieces and where it'll put you like in front of, basically to have success, or like to have them play a good part in the game. And the way that he teaches the game is so that you can always have like a general idea of how to go about things, even when you don't know what to specifically do. And I think when it comes to just like even building a YouTube channel, figuring out how you're gonna go about getting a job or getting a career or just playing a game, you just need a specific, like, you don't need a specific plan, but you just need the tools to understand how to execute that. And whether it's with anything, like just getting into something, right? That's one of the things that I was struggling with a lot last year. It's just figuring out how to get my foot in the door with things that it is that I want to learn, whether it be like drawing or like writing books, because I'm really big into writing. Just trying to figure out how to go about that. It's like, do I need to go to college? Do I not need to go to college? Is there a specific book that I need to read? Like, there were so many things that I was like, think that there's the specific way to do it, and I've come to the realization that no, there is no specific way to get into learning about something. Like, the best thing may be for me to just like sit down and write. And you know, I do write all the time. Not all the time, but if I have an idea or something, or I just go about Okay. I think it's better for me to use the example with this too, right? There would be a lot of times I just have an idea, or like I could just be sitting on the couch or something, right, in my living room just chilling, or like watching TV, and I have like an idea for the story, because that's how like my mind works. I imagine like different scenarios or like different stories just off of something that I see. Like I can easily just have a idea come to my head. I can play the whole thing out in a general sense. Like I can know exactly what it is that I want to write about. Then I get ready to start writing it, and then it starts out a little bit wonky. Like it doesn't really make much sense. And unfortunately, our opponent really quit, but I'll get another one in because I still want to do a little bit more talking. I just have a general sense of what it is that I want to write. I can have like the first 5 sentences in my head planned out, and then when I sit down to start writing it, it'll come out a bit weird. Like it's not exactly how I wanted it to go. Let's go Rafael here. So because it doesn't come out the exact way that I want it, sometimes I get a bit discouraged when I'm writing. So I'll say to myself, okay, let's stick through it. Let's go back, and after we just write consistently for a little bit, let's say 5 to 10 minutes, right? Just write flat out, whether it's gonna make sense or not. Just write, and I'll go back after 5 or 10 minutes, or even sometimes it ends up being a lot longer because I'm just jotting down ideas and I'm just writing sentences, and I'll go back and I'll see like words that I miss, and then in my head I'll plug in like the words that I think will work best, and then I'm constantly editing it, and then next thing I know, it'll be like, let's say 45 minutes has passed by. 45 minutes of just writing and editing, and I'll be like, okay, I thought it was finished, but I feel like this can use like some work here, and this can use some work here, and I can make this better by doing this. And seeing that, it just gets me through it, and then by the end I have like a piece that I'm really happy with, and I'll send it like to a couple of my friends I always share my writing with, and then they're like, even if I don't think it's too good, like I would be like, okay, this is like, it's not the greatest thing in the world, or I'd be really happy with it, and it's like, let me see what they say, and then they read it and like, yo, this is really good, this is great, and it's all because I just took it's all because I was just consistent for that first 5 to 10 minutes with what it was that I was trying to do. Like I'm just going upstairs, downstairs with the hooks now, just to try to confuse them. But yeah, just being consistent with that for a little bit of time is all that it took for me to like come out with a real good body of work that I'm happy with. Like I have a whole excerpt, I would say, because I don't write full-on books all the time. Like that's my goal eventually, is to like write a book, right? Or maybe like some type of series, and then hopefully it can become something one day. But if I didn't take that first 5 to 10 minutes to just stick with doing what it was I was writing, and you know, I have times where that does happen, that same body of work that my friends enjoyed probably wouldn't be what it is today if I just quit. So I see with like all my friends out there who's, you know, trying to come up in the YouTube world, like I don't want to, I notice a lot of them focus on like clout. That shit don't matter. Like and I notice a lot of YouTubers, and I don't want to just say them, but a lot of YouTubers in general, streamers, Twitch streamers, like I've come across a lot of, like I've been around Twitch for a while too, like almost as long as I've been doing YouTube. A lot of them focus on like the clout. They see the emotes, they see the number of viewers, they know that they're going to all these events like TwitchCon, they see the check marks, like collabing with different streamers, and like knowing that there's so many opportunities that can come from streaming, so they get into it, right? and then the first thing I see them doing is like copying somebody else's shit, or like, there's nothing wrong with copying or being inspired. Let me just put that out there. But it's so like, it's like a carbon copy to the point where the Twitch streamer or like the YouTuber, they don't even have their own identity anymore. And they're so focused on trying to build something in a specific way that they get lost in like the same thing that, or the same trap that a number of like thousands of other people can be doing. And then there's nothing that sets you apart from the streamer or like YouTuber that you're following, and then you don't get any viewers. And then after like I see people just stream for a week, right? Or just even like an hour or so, and because nobody's talking in chat, they'll just end the stream. Like, they'll get discouraged or they'll just stop streaming. And they don't realize that, man, everybody starts out like that. I remember when I first started doing this YouTube thing, right? I was gonna like, if I was lucky, like 30 views on a video. And even now when I like put out a video, if it doesn't do well, I don't trip over like the numbers. I know I haven't been consistent or anything with it. But when I was like at my absolute peak and I was getting like, I could get 300 views a video in a day, that was like amazing to me. And only because I knew what it was like to start, be consistent with it, and then just watch it grow. And like with streaming, obviously it's going to take a lot longer, and there's other things that I feel you need to do in order to make some type of progress with that. There we go, let's deny that. While there's so many things or like ways you can go about trying to improve with that, it doesn't mean anything if you're not like putting in the work in, or like if you're so concerned with the end result and not seeing any type of growth from it. Worrying about the growth is like what's gonna end up killing you. And it's like the same thing I've learned when it comes to like a career, or like just knowing what it is that you want to do. If you sit there and you rush it, you're not gonna, oh my god, I ducked right into that. But yeah, you're not gonna go anywhere with that if you're so worried about the results and worried about what somebody else is doing and like comparing yourself. And I could say like, just talking to my homie, because he wanted me to do UFC videos like more often, because I'm pretty much, I don't really post Fight Night as much because I don't have a PS3, and just in general I'm kind of done with it. And not that I don't support the community or anything, like, yo, you're out there, keep doing your thing. If you sit there and compare yourself to whatever, to what somebody else got, you're automatically putting yourself in a position of like lesser power. Like, you're already eliminating your creativity because you're worried about what the next man who's been doing. Like, think about that half the time. The person that you're trying to imitate, or like you're trying to copy, they got this figured out. Like, they got a system that works for them because they've been doing this for such a long time. Right? It could be like, you could be watching some guy who's been doing like YouTube or like Twitch or whatever for like 2 years. Things were like so much different 2 years ago. Even like on YouTube, things were so much different. If you sit there and you compare yourself to that person who's been doing this for so long, and you have no experience with doing this at all, besides like maybe the things you might have picked up from just watching, which is watching and doing something is two completely different things. You're automatically putting yourself in like a position of less power because you don't have the same accolades or same like resume or body of work that the other person has. So comparing yourself to somebody, it's like, it's just not a good idea, because you don't have what they have. Even if you have the same equipment, you don't have the same amount of knowledge. So that's why it's not really good to compare yourself when you're trying to like build, because that one moment of like you comparing yourself to somebody else can be all it takes for you to just become discouraged. And I think confidence is like so key when it comes to doing something. Like, even if you're trying to like find your footing, right, and trying to find like a level of confidence, with what it is that you're attempting to do. It's so easy to shatter confidence. Like, I don't know. I was just talking with a homie about this like the other day, and I'm sure like a lot of guys like, have that experience. Somebody could just like some girl that you're trying to get with, right? She'll be like, "Oh, you're ugly," right? Or some girl could tell you like even an exact opposite, like, "Oh, you're cute." That just those two things can like do so much to your confidence when it comes to women, or it will affect you later down the line without you even like, realizing it. And something else that I touch on when I was just talking about in terms of doing right, picking up something from watching it and picking up knowledge from doing it. It's like, it's kind of like fighting. Like if you guys ever like been in a boxing gym or like learning how to fight, I was using this analogy the other day too, which I thought was really good. It's like if you slip a punch doing a drill, right, like a slip drill, whether it's like on the mitts or with a partner, it's so much different than slipping a punch when you're in an actual sparring match. And then slipping a punch with like headgear and stuff on, it's gonna be completely different from you fighting with no headgear. And you're never gonna like, those feelings are gonna always be different. Like the experience is always gonna be different because of let me keep kicking this guy's leg. It's always gonna be different because you haven't done it before, and like the feel of it, I think more than anything is what's so important about that. Like catching even seeing a punch coming at you, right? You know to block it with like a certain hand, or like put your hand in a certain position, and you can watch that same punch traveling at you, whether you see it in slow motion or comes at you really quick. And then you can have a freeze reaction rather than doing what it is that you're supposed to do, just because you're not used to it. And you're never going to be able to you're never going to be able to build if you don't do it. So that's kind of like just been what I've been trying to say, is that like the power of doing it while also watching and observing, like all these little things that you have to do in order to build something that you will be happy with at the end of the day. That's only gonna come if like you stay committed to it. So I think a lot of times like the way to go about building is so, or like building anything, it's just not taught properly. Like, I feel like you just never get, some people go their whole life without like getting those skills. Just think about people who, for example, money management, right? It's people who legit live their lives, and like even maybe somebody, and this is no shot to anybody watching this video, but you live your life check to check, and it's never like crossed your mind to be like, what can I do with the money that I have to like get more money, or what should I be spending my money on so I don't always have to be spending my money on like bills and a car note every month, or like that type of thing never occurs to some people, like especially in my environment, because I live in the hood, right? There's so many people who just walk around and the only thing they're ever concerned with is getting the latest fashion or getting like the latest clothes, like, and then it's such a common thing for them to be broke at the end of the week, or like broke within a couple of days of having a check, or like getting their check from their job. Man, because I used to work at Target for a little bit, and this is something I talk about on my stream all the time, is, yo, it takes 2 weeks, literally, like, I was putting in like 67 hours, 70 hours, sometimes more, in 2 weeks, and that's not like a lot compared to like other people, right? But still, that was 70 70 plus hours for me to get that check. And you know, you don't get it but only every 2 weeks. And to think that your whole check is gone in like 2 or 3 days, like, that's insane to me. I didn't have that problem, but there's people at my job, like, that's what they would talk about. It's like, yo, my check already gone. And I'm like, yo, you put in 70 hours for this. Like, that's not even like just work time, right? That's not talking about the time you have to do to get ready in the morning, like get in there and, you know, making sure you're in the right state of mind just to go to work every day. Like, so much of your life is based around this one thing, and it's gone within a couple of days. Like, and obviously everybody got bills, everybody got different situations, but it's so sad to see something you worked so hard for to just have it disappear so quickly and not have nothing to show for it, besides maybe like some clothes, or like because you went to the club for a couple of days, or like not even a couple of days, but you've been to the club for an hour, and like you got a cheap girl for some alcohol or something, and now some motherfuckers sitting there worrying about how they're gonna get to work the next day. Like, you didn't even plan out your money to have work for the next day. Like, and that's another thing when it comes to, like, obviously when it comes to buildings, like questioning whether or not that's the right move for you. Like, is how I spent my money this week, was that smart? Was that really a good idea? Was that the right way? Like, and then making adjustments with the things that you are doing, or like with the way you're going about like building your financial wealth in this scenario, right? It's like, nah, I wanna make sure I'm investing my money into something worth it. And it's crazy, man, that question, or that type of question, never comes into some people's mind. Ooh, I've tried to go for the uppercut there. He's gonna do that shit again, and I'm gonna just take him down. Spin, spin, spin. Come on. I'm waiting for something specific here. Oh, I mistimed it. I think that would have actually been the end of the fight, though. I try to wrestle there because, like, why not? It should be okay here. Yeah, we definitely lost this 5th round, though, if I can't get a knockout. We're gonna press. Sometimes you just gotta be first. You know, my stamina's low. Get back in there. Press him with the jab now. Okay. Do it again. Jab, hook, come on. Close. Sorry, I know I just like cut the topic off, but I want to at least try to make sure I get this round, or like see if I can't get a finish. Matter of fact, maybe I think I got enough rounds to where I don't even really need to finish, so maybe I should just be waiting. Head kick is so risky here, so I'm not gonna go for it. It's so. Maybe I should have went for it. That probably would have been an end of fight. But yeah, so just bringing it back to kind of close this out since this fight is almost over. Like, when you're going about doing whatever it is that you want to do in life, just try to be as consistent as possible. And like, I think your quality will come with the more you do, the more you study, the more you watch, the more knowledge you obtain. And make sure you're asking yourself the right questions while you're along the way. You may not know the right way to go about doing it, but there is no right way. Everybody's kind of just winging it, so just do the best that you can. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, I've been trying to do commentaries lately where it's not so much about watching the gameplay. The gameplay is good. I hope you do enjoy it. I hope you enjoy the matches. But at the same time, I just want to give you something at your mind, like something we could discuss in the comment section, because or just having the background while you're watching something, because I think those are the type of videos that I've really been on lately. And this is just to talk a little bit while closing it out. It's been the type of stuff that I've been on lately. There's so many things like I'm trying to do and things that I'm trying to pick up and learn on that sometimes I just don't have time to watch an entire video. So I'd rather just hear something that stimulates my mind. So that's the type of videos I will be bringing from now on. Like the video if you enjoyed, comment if you have something to add to the discussion, follow me on Twitch, Twitter, all that good stuff, and I will catch all you guys next time. It's your boy Fight Nate's Finest, the Sofa Commentator, and I'm off this. Peace.